I have a budget of roughly $2,500 a year, you know, to run the department. So,
Well, I
but this would be a
guess-
separate,
I guess if I heard the dates right, the grant gets lost if he doesn't
September
have
30th.
matching funds by the end of September, was it, or beginning
Right.
of September?
so the new fiscal year is July 1st.
Yeah.
So literally on July 1st, I could start spending money. In other words, I can get all set up, because by June 6th, I'll know if this is passed or not. So I've got a month to prepare. So by July 1st, I'll be ready to go, and I can start ordering the equipment. So it'll be July, August, and September. I'll have 90 days to get everything, but it has to be done, finished by September 30th. So it's a small window.
So it's even a shorter window.
Yeah, it's a short window, but that's the way things, fell. And I wasn't looking to get money out of, the taxpayers, because I know how tight everything is, so I didn't want to do that. But I saw this wonderful opportunity to pick up some of this reimbursement money that was money that came as a result of emergency management operations, so it won't affect the towns, won't raise the tax rate, and yet it'll help immensely with the Emergency Operations Center. So I feel we're really winning.
So really, this matching $4,000 or whatever came into the town, how would we fund it?
Free cash.
Recommended it.
Free cash.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Bob, you said we recommended it. I thought we were talking about Article 22?
14.
All right.
It says what we voted to recommend, so.
Mhm.
So it'll come out of free cash,
Mhm.
and that'll cover it.
$4,000, yes.
Well, it's really 2,500 plus 2124.
Okay, we'll reconcile the numbers.
Okay, but roughly $4,000.
Well, the board's already approved it.
You got it.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
Nice job.
Best to sit down. Best to go on your head.
I mean, I thought.
No, I was
Include the
wondering,
article.
I'm trying to get from Greg where the money was coming.
Free cash.
So he doesn't have it.
So it's in your set of notes.
It's in my plan.
Okay. Thank you, Theo. Article 15.
15 is to transfer money into the other post-employment benefits liability trust fund. This was an article that was created at town meeting in the fall. The source of funds would be any surplus that remains in the health insurance budget at the end of the year. We're looking at about $46,000. So that's a number just to keep in mind, that as we track
It's
our...
gonna be that number?
Yeah, well, you're asking me whether I can commit to that number? No, I cannot commit to that number. I'm giving
No,
you that
that's the
number.
number you-
Merely as informational purposes, do not hold me to it at town meeting. Thank you. I'm giving you information.
Okay.
Thank you. Article 16 is Parks and Recreation revolving fund, if necessary. If the article under the enterprise fund fails, then you'll need to do this. And then there are a number of articles which are reauthorizations of revolving accounts through Article 23. And if there are any questions, through Article 24, if there are any questions about those.
Okay, then we have 25, which is the agreement with Smiths. And any change in,
Under negotiation, still being negotiated, no settlement at this time. But there is a communication back and forth between the parties relative to modification of the agreement that had been put together last October, specifically concerning a provision in Section 8, which dealt with access via Wright Street. At this time, some additional language has been forwarded to the Smiths attorney, and we're awaiting a response from that as of this time.
I think we'd
if
like
you
to
could note that Mr. O'Leary arrived at 9:12. Whereabouts you did, great.
I think if we're having an executive session, I think we should probably talk about what's gone back and forth as far as negotiations. Good idea. Sure.
Article 26. This is a rescinding of the Quinn bill. Recommendation will be made at town meeting. Article 27. Chapter 32B or other enabling legislation on health insurance.
Until that,
Isn't the Senate voting tomorrow?
Their budget's going to
The
be
budget's
released Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
The budget's coming out Wednesday, so we'll have a pretty good idea as to what we're considering, what we're looking at. Be interesting to see how it matches up.
Article 28, town clerk is asked to have authority to set the rates. The board is recommended already, but you're free to,
Well, if you recommend it, I don't want to shoot it.
Good idea.
If you have any questions, I'm here, that's all. It really does serve a dual purpose too. It's not just the fees, to remove the fees as we did with the regular licensing fees at the last town meeting. That section of the bylaw is also attached to the licensing period for the dogs, which currently runs from June 1 through May 31st, which is kind of an odd time. What I'm trying to do in this revision is to make the licensing period a calendar year. And at that time, I can also send out a notice with the census mailing to encourage licensing and give people that renewal notice that we can't provide for them right now because of the mailing costs. But I think we could probably also get more dogs licensed, you know, if there's a notice that goes out with the annual census. So it serves both
what is
purposes.
the timeframe now, Barbara?
June 1 through May 31st, and we give a 30-day grace period, so we start a
So
late
if
fee
you
on
change
July
it to
1.
the calendar year,
So,
you're giving people 6 months.
no,
grace,
then the
or
late
you-
fee will start on March 31st. So we're still giving them 3 months to license. We're not changing the amount of time
No,
we'll
no,
have
but
the
I'm
license
saying,
available.
you know, right now, if someone's licensed,
Yes,
now we're gonna move the date up or back, depending on how you wanna look at it.
right.
By 6 months, do they end up paying more?
They will, the new
Or
licenses,
Is it a prorated?
no, there will be no prorating. It will be that the current licenses would expire December 31, and the new licenses would kick in on January 1st.
Okay, so they're getting 3
So
months grace. basically.
they're getting 6 months free, which is okay. We're changing, correct?
They,
Well, the license
no,
would end early.
their license will be cut short. This current year's license will be cut short. We start the 2011 licenses.
What revenue is involved?
I don't have that figure, Mr. O'Leary. It isn't, it's not a great figure. No, we don't currently license a lot of the dogs that do exist in the town, according to the dog officer. So I'm
Then why don't
hoping,
we extend this year's
Yeah, it
license
seems
6
that
months?
In the process
You know,
of taking
through
away
December
3 months,
31st.
we're gonna end up with a pile of people. here
through
over-
December 31st of 2012?
No, 2001.
No, this license, we are currently issuing licenses now, okay? That will expire under the current bylaw in May 31st of next year. Okay, we've already started selling them. Okay, we sell them starting April 1. So we give people an opportunity to get them.
So how many would we have
We
issued?
sold about 250 at this point.
So then, if I'm not sure, Mr. Chair,
Yes,
make sure I'm following. So this coming January 1,
Mhm.
you will begin to resell.
Resell the 2012 licenses rather than starting to sell them on April 1st. So we would be selling them 3 months earlier.
For those who already have licenses that are from 2011 through May 31.
They could purchase their new license in
Oh.
January.
Or any time between
They're not
January
required.
and 5/31.
Well, yes, according to the bylaw, the licensing period would change. It would be a requirement.
So they're only getting a 9-month license instead of 12-month
Correct, at the
license.
most,
The current
correct.
So the
license that says
250.
they're not expired, it's going to be expired But even though their license doesn't say it's.
You know, we can make that adjustment internally. If they have a current license, we would not necessarily have to impose the late fee if we see that they are, you know, coming in at their regular time and then have them start in at that
What I
time.
can see happening, Barbara, although maybe small dollars, right, is citizens coming complaining to us because they paid for a year, and now 9 months have gone by, and you're asking to buy a new license.
Prorate it.
You know, if it's prorated, that's one thing, I guess, but.
Yeah,
But
prorate it.
we've got 250 that have already been done,
Yeah,
so
just prorate it.
When they come in, we check the old license. We make a notation if they currently had one in the previous year. And for any of those
how
persons.
much is the fee?
The fees are $10 for a spayed or neutered animal and 20 for one that is not.
Not a lot of dollars, but
No, it's-
principal more than anything else, I suppose. But
Can I say something?
Minneapolis.
Psychologically, it's small potatoes. If you give them an 18-month license, the people that pay this June, they don't have to buy one for a year and a half. People like a little bargain, okay, in this economy, they're gonna feel good. If you go the other way, and you're lopping off 6 months out of a 12-month license and not prorating anything, they're gonna be hearing a lot of complaints, even if it's for $5. So, it's just a thought, you know, you can do that, and
yeah, Jeff and I are up for
People will
reelection
be
next year.
smiling.
It's gonna be a big issue.
Yeah, and I have to read this article on town meeting. Which, by the way, do you want to give a presentation? You
you may wanna wear a
Well,
bulletproof
I'll
vest.
read it, but we can also, right, don't we can take a leave of the meeting
Well,
decision.
no, question can be asked of the town clerk.
I mean, I don't want to get the
I
presentation.
just think that it's just, there'll be people out there that'll be unhappy, as small as it is, you know, just,
Dogs are a big issue in
why
town.
do we need to put ourselves in that position?
Yeah.
And I think, again, one way or the other, either issue a rebate or extend it, as Mr. Kouliapis suggested. Start fresh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think
and not chip people out of a quarter of the year, even though it might only be $2.50 or $5. You know, it's $5, but I think, relations-wise,
Which would you rather have?
I would
Proration
rather
or
start,
prorated?
yeah, I really would. I would rather start the licensing period sooner than later. You know, it's so have it effective as of January 1, and issue people, you know, a prorated fee at that point.
That
But
would
I'd like
make
to have all of the licensing in line, and that way we can still do what my primary goal is, and that is to get a notice out with the census mailing, you know, so that the licensing period will be a calendar year, so we can notify more people and hopefully get more people licensed.
No, I think that's a.
That's a good way to
So I would rather do that.
Find a way to prorate it.
And that would be just only prorating those persons who were licensed in the
previous
current
license, right.
year,
So
the
the 200
immediately
including the 250.
preceding year. Pardon?
including the 250.
Yes,
Anyone
those
who gets
persons
a new
would be the ones
license-
affected. Any of those persons,
And
basically, who
Has-
licensed
has a
this year
license,
could
it's
get the prorated fee. I don't think it would be,
I think
you know,
Six months.
prior to the late fee kicking in.
I think if that's done, then I would be happy.
I would have
Town
no
meeting.
problem doing that.
A town meeting, I'll read the article, but then can we bring Barbara up and just have her do a couple slides?
What are you afraid of?
Oh, my God.
Profile coverage.
I have no problem, I'll do it.
I'll back you up, Mr. Crisco. I'll be there to back you up, but I gotta take a
You
minute.
wait and see with the dog leg, I'm not,
He said people in the back with their pit bulls and all.
I've dealt with dog issues, I know.
Yes, I have, and I know it's gonna come.
Michael, you might try treating it one of your fellow board
Oh,
members.
I'd have a problem with it.
Sounds like
okay?
you do.
But there seems to be a lot more to it than,
Michael,
It's pretty
Michael,
straightforward.
The town administrator has all his department heads at town meeting, and they
Get your
answer
binky.
And I'm a sure
I'm not
thing.
putting
I'm
together
taking
any-
minutes, so I'm a sure thing.
You don't want-
I'm not putting slides on
for
this
every
one.
single article, for those things that
Your
require-
words were, put together a couple
move
slides
forward,
on every
come on.
article.
That's what I
Next article,
Next
move
one.
forward.
All right. Thank you,
you, Barbara.
gentlemen. Thank you.
Let's move forward.
Thank you, Barbara. Article 28 is to amend the general bylaws, chapter 172 of town meeting.
29.
29.
did I say?
Said 28.